Hello, everyone. My name is Danielle Blair, and I'm a senior admissions and financial aid counselor at the University of Maine at Farmington. I am here today to give you a brief introduction to financial aid. I always like to start with some vocabulary, so my first question is, what is financial aid? Financial aid includes all of the funding provided to students and their families to help them pay for their college expenses. This typically includes federal or private loans, grants, scholarships, and even campus employment. Cost of attendance is one of those pretty big buzzwords. Cost of attendance, or COA, is comprised of the direct and indirect expenses associated with attending a particular college. Now, this number varies widely by institution. It's sometimes referred to as sticker price. I try to remind my students and their families that you cannot compare colleges based on the sticker price. Financial aid is very unique to every family. The financial aid that your institutions offer is also unique to them. So it's really important not to write off a school based on that sticker price, but to wait until you have your award letter. Expected family contribution, or EFC, is the number that you get actually when you finish filing your FAFSA. And it's the amount that your family is expected to contribute to your college expenses. This, however, is not an exact dollar amount. It simply helps us determine your aid eligibility, so it's not indicative of the bottom line or the number that you'll see on your student bill. There are also a couple of other things that I think are important to know about EFC. The first is that your EFC stays the same at every college, despite the fact that the costs associated with attending those costs will still vary. The second is that your EFC is recalculated every academic year using fresh data from the FAFSA. This means that if your family experiences a significant change in their income, they may also experience a significant change in their expected family contribution. Now, I'd like to pull these together in a way that I hope makes sense. So if you take cost of attendance, or that sticker price number, and you subtract your expected family contribution, or your EFC, that leaves us with your financial need, or the reason why we need aid. On the right-hand side, you'll see that a table very similar to my own has popped up. It still has annual cost of attendance, EFC, and need, but I've plugged in some examples. So a low-cost school, about $8,600 per year, a mid-cost school of about $20,500 per year, and a high-cost school of about $48,000 per year. Notice that the EFC, despite the changing cost of attendance, is staying the same, which means that your need at each of these schools is also wildly different. So it ranges from $6,600 to $46,000. And how colleges fill that need is why it's important to wait for that award letter. Now, it's also really important to understand the different types of financial aid. I like to start with the good money. So grants and scholarships are aid money that doesn't need to be paid back. Grants are typically awarded based on financial need, often by federal or state governments, whereas scholarships are typically awarded on the basis of academic merit or for having a unique skill or a characteristic that makes you unique. At Farmington, we offer merit or non-need-based scholarships based on academic achievement. So eligible Maine students, or students with a recalculated GPA of 2.75 or higher, are eligible for between $1,000 and $3,000 per year. Eligible New England regional students will receive between $2,000 and $5,000 per year. And eligible out-of-state students might receive $4,000 to $8,000 per year. Now, if you take out-of-state students, for an example, you have a student who has that full $8,000 merit scholarship. That scholarship follows your student for all 4 years at Farmington, as long as they remain in good academic standing. So $8,000 turns into $32,000 of savings over 4 years. Now, I hate to break it to you, but both federal and private loans are money that needs to be paid back, and often with interest. Federal loans can be borrowed by both students and their parents, and it's important to note that the interest rates on those federal loans is typically better than on private educational loans. Those federal loans also offer a 6-month grace period for repayment after graduation. So you can join us at Farmington, earn your degree, graduate, and work for 6 months before you start repaying those student loans. They also offer flexible repayment options, and in some cases, even forgiveness. Now, with all of that said, students should still borrow only what they truly need. We do not want students graduating with more debt than they need or more debt than they can handle. Campus employment also allows students to earn money or other compensation for their educational costs. Students will typically receive either A, a paycheck, or B, some form of non-monetary compensation, typically a comp for costs such as room and board at a college where they're employed. Finally, while the federal government is the largest source of need-based financial aid, aid also comes from state governments, private sources, and the colleges and universities to which you'll be applying. Now, I have some quick tips for FAFSA filing. The first is that filing the FAFSA is always free. I hate to break it to you, but if someone is asking for your credit card number, you are on the wrong website and you will need to start over at fafsa.gov. It's just a standard form that collects your demographic and income information. And I reiterate that it is free. As you can see at the bottom, you can add UMF to your application by searching for us or with school code 002040. The second thing you need to know is that both students and their parents need to register for an FSA ID. So an FSA ID is basically your FAFSA user account, and it's like linked to your individual social security number. When you sign up for one, you need to do everything that you can to retain your username and password, because you, as in you students and you parents, will use the same FSA ID every year that you file the FAFSA. This is especially important because these are tricky to recover. And parents, if you have more than one student attending college, even if it's 2 or 3 years down the road, you'll be using the same FSA ID when you file their FAFSA. Now, it's important to note that the FAFSA for 2021-2022 will go live on October 1st, 2020. So that's about 6 months from now. Students and their families will use income information from the 2019 tax year for this FAFSA. We have a priority filing deadline of March 1st, 2021. So if you want the best aid package that you can possibly get, you should make sure to file before that deadline for the 2021-2022 academic year. I filed, now what? So when you file your FAFSA, you immediately receive 2 things. The first is your EFC. So your EFC is the expected family contribution that we talked about earlier in this film. Your student aid report is the second thing that you'll receive, and this actually outlines all of the information that you entered on your FAFSA, so I highly recommend that you make sure to check it for accuracy. Then, have patience. Most colleges will send financial aid award letters in mid-March. If a student does not receive enough financial aid, and I know that it's early to have this conversation, there are ways to fill the gap, like with outside scholarships, savings, tuition payment plans, federal Parent Plus loans, and alternative or private loans. If you're worried about the gap, my best advice is always to call the financial aid offices at the schools that you're applying to. Now, I have some final thoughts. The first is that UMF has a brand new scholarship opportunity called the Presidential Persistence Scholarship. This is a scholarship opportunity that is available to all students entering in fall 2021. It's simple, it's automatic, and there is no application for this scholarship. The only eligibility requirements are that students earn 32 credits per academic year, which is a full course load, 4 courses in the fall, 4 in the spring, or 16 credits per semester. Students can also include winter and summer term courses if, for example, they took a light load. And then also that the students maintain GPAs of 2.75 or higher. So all you need to do in order to be eligible for this scholarship is to have a full course load and remain in good academic standing. This is important because this scholarship is worth up to $4,500 over 3 years at Farmington. Your first grant or scholarship would be $1,000 after your first year, so for your second year at Farmington. If you were to meet the requirements a second time, your second scholarship amount would be $1,500. And if you met the requirements a third time prior to your final year at Farmington, you would be eligible for a $2,000 scholarship in your senior aid package. Finally, I want to thank all of you for joining me for this presentation. I know that we are living in weird and challenging times, and I hope that you are taking care and staying well. Don't hesitate to reach out if you have any questions about this presentation or about Farmington in general.